Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and hello if you're new. Make sure that you subscribe, that way you'll never miss out on another pick a card reading. I do it on my channel every single Friday. So today I thought that we would kind of dive into this Mercury retrograde that we're having, and it's lasting up until June 3rd. That's when the Mercury retrograde will end. And usually when we are in a Mercury retrograde, there's a lot of things that might happen, that might get stirred up. And I've been studying and researching so much about the Mercury retrograde. I haven't known too much about it, but I did learn that Mercury is a ruler of communication, and so a lot of our communication slows down. And also, like, you know, if your communication has been blocked, things will slow down in a manner or shift itself in a manner where this communication can come about. So that's kind of what I wanted to mention before we get into your reading. Again, I also want to mention that I mentioned this in my YouTube community section, but if you guys are my Patreon members, I opened up personal readings. Pricing and details are all up on Patreon, and you also get access to over 200 videos, exclusive spells, exclusive rituals, and also exclusive readings. Every single week I do a reading, a week ahead predictions for you guys on Patreon. So you get access to that, but also you get kind of more access to me, and then we can go on about how our energies mend and if I can do a reading for you. So yeah, if you guys are interested, head over to Patreon. But with all that being said, let's get into what this Mercury retrograde is bringing you, what it's going to teach you, what it's going to show you, and how it's going to affect your life possibly. So I have some crystals here and 4 piles. So I'm going to have you pick pile number 1, or the lapis lazuli crystal. Pile number 2, the amethyst crystal. Pile number 3, the desert rose. Or pile number 4, the Shivalingam crystal. Which one is drawing you in? Which one makes you feel a little tingle in your body? Which one makes you feel a little something? One of them, or maybe a few of them. If 2 or 3 of them make you feel like that, watch all of them. There might be messages in there for you. But one of them will definitely make you feel a certain type of way, and that's the pile for you. And so with that being said, let's get into what's going on with this Mercury retrograde until June 3rd for you. Okay, pile number 1, everybody that picked the lapis lazuli crystal, let's get into that first. So I do feel like Mercury is the ruler of communication, first of all, right? Mercury is in retrograde, which means it's just these communication energies are going to be slowing down a little bit, possibly to open up more communication, healthier ways of communicating, you know, everything communication. So, I mean, I have specific messages for you about communication in this reading, but I do feel like around this entire Mercury retrograde until June 3rd, work with your lapis lazuli crystal if you have it. Maybe if you want to gift it to yourself, by yourself. I actually have lapis lazuli chokers on my Etsy shop. They are so beautiful. They shine in every light, even natural lighting. Go walk out into the sun, it shines like you're wearing $1 million jewelry. But if you're interested, you could head over to my shop. But what this does is really helps you with all types of communication, your throat chakra, and with expressing yourself. So I wanted to get that clear and out of the way because that's the crystal you picked, and I wanted you guys to get a glimpse of why you picked it. There's a few messages that I have here. So I do feel like there is this, with this Mercury retrograde, the way that things are going to be kind of slowing down for you a little bit is because it's going to give you this feeling of release. Things might be slowing down in areas where you're like, okay, why is that slowing down right now? But you need a break over there in that area. And so it's doing that to provide you this feeling of release, for a renewal of your energy, for rebirth of ideas, like more energy, more positive energy, and just for you to feel more rejuvenated and replenished. There's a transformation coming, of course, with every Mercury retrograde. I feel like there is transformation, but this star card also signifies transformation coming in. And also resurrection. I feel like a lot of you may have lost your way. Maybe you lost hope. Started to become foggy-minded, confused, and didn't know where you wanted to really move forward. It wasn't clear to you where you wanted to move forward because I feel like you didn't get the justice or the peace or the closure that you needed. For a lot of you, I do feel like this might be a court case that might be dragging, and for that reason, you just have not been able to allow yourself to just move forward. You just kind of feel stuck, until that's over. But for a lot of you, I do see that there is transformation. There's a feeling of release. There's a feeling of release when it comes to legal matters, contracts, and stuff like that. There's a release of something. Maybe you're going to pay something off during this retrograde. Slowly, you have been trying slowly. So Mercury retrograde for me, like the first word that I think of is communication. The second word is slow. Slowly, slow. Okay? So it might have been something that has been working towards for a really long time, and you finally get the closure you need. It's like the judgment is made and you can move forward finally for a lot of you. For a lot of you, the Star card is bringing hope, and it signifies a very dry period ending. So with Mercury retrograde, things slow down. So I do feel like I do get this energy too, that your life kind of has been slowed down for a while now. And it does have to do with something for a lot of you legal, but maybe not legal for a lot of you. What I'm getting to is, it's just you needed closure. There was something that needed closure in your life. Whether it was legal or not, you needed it, and it was dragging. But with this Mercury retrograde, even though things slow down, okay, sometimes there are certain things within our communication that the Mercury retrograde, and according to which planets are in the full moon and the new moon around the retrograde, that affects a lot of it. So make sure you guys stay tuned with my new moon and full moon videos, because I explain more in there about how you can work all of this into your favor. But this Six of Swords card is telling me that things are going to start moving really fast. Even though it said the Mercury retrograde, slows things down, it will slow certain things down so that other things can move really fast. Like, did you hear me snap my fingers? When I say fast, I mean it's gonna move fast. For a lot of you, you might be moving. For a lot of you, that house that you were trying to get, maybe it was a really dragging, slow process, that's gonna go through. The Six of Swords is also just, do you guys see that fly? I have not had a fly in my room for like 7-8 months. Okay, I'm not even kidding you guys. This fly is really annoying me, but it is also telling me whenever a fly shows up, somebody might be sending you evil eyes. Somebody might be talking about you, gossiping about you, or just thinking negative thoughts about you. So make sure that you do cleanse yourself. So I do want to say that. Don't worry, I'll take care of the fly right after I do the reading. But the Six of Swords card is you moving away from difficulties, and it's going to happen really fast, which is really funny because watch, certain things in your life are going to slow down where other areas of your life are going to speed up. But it's exactly what you needed, and trust me, you're going to feel very aligned, and it's going to feel so right. A lot of you are leaving something behind, maybe probably literally like moving. This is you blooming. This is you flowering. And this might be even a literal trip or like a literal journey where you are traveling too. So, maybe the closure of what you needed closure on inspired you to travel, or there's some kind of traveling here. And also you moving on into more pleasing environments here. Letting go and just moving on, and this is the end result of something. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is telling me that while all this is going on, don't get distracted, okay? You are going to accomplish something, and then you're going to sit back and think, now what is next? For a lot of you, this fast movement is going to probably like really make you think about where you were stuck in your comfort zone and where you gained excitement about life again. So you'll kind of get to see that about yourself. A lot of you are going to be enjoying the fruits of your labor, and while you're doing that, you're going to be planning the next steps of your life. This is stamina. Like this is just moving forward. And then the next card that we have is Justice, which is maybe a lot of you guys are dealing with a Libra, or a lot of you are just waiting for a court case or something to really finalize, or like a home loan, a mortgage, some paperwork or documentation to go through. And it seems like Mercury retrograde, it does kind of slow the process down a little bit, but I do feel like you will get the results that you want, but it slows down because it's, you know, the energies in the spiritual realm are working in your favor. There's things shifting in your favor. So sometimes things do have to slow down. And also there's evil eye over here, and I do not like that it's like slowing stuff down. So burn some sage, burn some Palo Santo, do a spiritual rinse. Yeah. And also there's a message to fight your battles using your mind. Why is my phone going off? Do you see that? Like, so nothing in my readings I take as coincidence. Everything I feel like we're opening up the channel. So the phone going off for me, I feel like there is a distraction for you guys too. Like, what is it that distracts you? And when your life starts moving really, really fast, you have to make sure that you don't give in to these distractions so that you can move forward and get the, because you're about to get the closure you need. And there's like a renewal of energy. And another thing that I wanted to ask you is Mercury retrograde might slow things down to teach you or make you ask yourself, is this fair? So you're going to ask yourself a lot. You see how my phone just keeps going off? I should put it on silent. Don't get distracted, you guys. But see, I just got distracted and the stupid fly. And sometimes evil eye and stuff like that can create distractions and stuff like that. So we don't want that. We want to burn our sage, which I will completely be doing right after this reading. I want you guys to burn your sage. If you don't have sage, burn Palo Santo, burn incense, sprinkle some salt on the four corners of your property, take a spiritual rinse. There's a lot of things you could do to cleanse yourself, but there is this calling around this Mercury retrograde to cleanse yourself and your energy. And you know what I see too? Look at this card. Reigniting the divine spark within you, and you recognize that you're a part of all creation. So when your energy is kind of like fogged up, or maybe there's negative energy around your energy field, you want to cleanse it. You want to get rid of it. I can feel a lot of you guys in my throat chakra, like it's very hard for you to talk and express yourself and communicate. And for a lot of you, I feel like Mercury retrograde is going to slow down a lot of relationships in your life so that you can understand how to communicate with them. So I did want to throw that out there. I'll also think that you're connecting so much more with your own self and your own spirit, and you're taking time. Like, I feel like you're not taking time. I feel like somehow you're forced to take time by yourself right now a little bit, but it gives you a lot of connection to who you are and what you are, and just all your thoughts and your beliefs, and just it allowing yourself to sit with yourself and your thoughts is really, really good right now. And then we have these two cards right here, which is the Witch and the Intuition card. So the Witch card right here, it says grab hold, allow the dwelling fire within the belly to awaken all that is. A mere glimpse, a delicate pull at the very roots, living in the alchemy of self. And then this card right here is saying, you hold the answers, you know the truths, ancient ones await behind the doors of the mind. So when you are like, I feel like you are going to be taking time out for yourself, right? This Mercury retrograde until June 3rd. I feel like a lot of you guys are spending more time alone and with yourself, and that's perfectly fine. But I do feel like there is something that's coming out of it. You're connecting more with your intuition, and I do feel like a lot of you are connecting so much more with your ancestors and your ancestral energy and your spirit guides. And then we have this witch card, which is telling me that a lot of your sacral chakra is awakening. Within the belly is our sacral. And that's where creation happens. That's where our sexuality lies. That's where that chakra is what governs our creativity. Like, especially if you are very creative, you are artistic, the sacral chakra will really help you if it's nice and open and clear, because you will always have ideas and inspiration and creativity and motivation. So I feel like that's a part of you that is awakening right now, but it is awakening alongside your throat chakra, which means that like your creativity is going to be expressed. Your sexuality will be expressed. And just things that inspire you is just kind of going to become a self-expression of who you are. I want to say that again. The things that inspire you are going to become a self-expression of who you and what you are. So you might start dressing a little bit differently. You might like start throwing out all the clothes in your closet and get a whole new wardrobe that just fits according to who you are now. You might change your hair color. You might there's a change about your self-expression. You might get a new car. You might get a new house. It's just a change about the way that you express yourself. Maybe some of you guys might get into like plastic surgery or, I don't know, like, piercings, tattoos. It's just something like that, some kind of expression like that. So that is going to be your reading. That's kind of what I see for Mercury retrograde and how it's going to be affecting you. I hope you guys enjoy it, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye. Pile number 2, everybody that picked the amethyst crystal. So this is telling me that a lot of you guys, the Mercury retrograde is going to be affecting your mind a lot. It might be slowing down a lot of chaotic thoughts. Like it might be slowing down some thoughts in your mind that are just very overactive, if that makes sense. One of the first things that I see here is clearing of your head, clearing of your mind, and a very big change, a huge transformation in the way that you think. And for a lot of you, you're going to be sacrificing something, but what you're sacrificing is you're sacrificing something very small for something very big. And so that's something I wanted to throw out there too. A lot of you have reached a point, okay? A lot of you have reached the point in yourself, within yourself, where your knowledge of your own self is just more prominent and it's more resonating and it's more you and it's just more right than anything anybody else tells you what to do. So I feel like a lot of you are just coming into your own skin, getting a change of perspective where it allows you to come into your own skin. This is a huge turning point in a lot of your psyche. A lot of you might be reaching out to spiritual advisors, therapists, talking, having deep conversations. There's definitely some kind of transformation happening in your life, because look at these 2 cards right here. Transformation and transformation. Literally, look at that. From 2 different decks. Your synchronicity right now is off the chart, because let me show you something else. 6, 9, 9, 3, 3. 3, 6, 9. If you Google those numbers, you can know what to do with it. They are powerful numbers, and they are numbers of change and transformation, and like creating your own change, creating your own transformation. And sometimes when we do not, and we get stagnant, and our spirits are not spirit guides, they will see us and they will be like, or even our ancestors, and they'll be like, you know what, that's not that at the place that I want you to be. You have overcome so much to be there, but now we don't want you to get stuck there. We want you to move more forward and more ahead. And so I feel like a lot of you guys have just kind of gotten a little bit stuck and stagnant. I also want to throw it out there that this whole Mercury retrograde is teaching you that things are your choice, not anybody else's. And I do want you guys to really think on that, reflect on that. It's your choice, not anybody else's. I feel like a lot of you needed to hear that. This is a greater time of understanding that and understanding so much more. A lot of you are going to be stepping back. A lot of you are going to be pausing. A lot of you are detaching from drama, and a lot of you, I see, you're detaching from even watching and consuming like dramatic content. I used to watch YouTube gossip all the time. It was like a guilty pleasure, but I completely stopped because I don't want to support that. I don't like it anymore. Like, it's just, it's mean, and it's just, you know, I feel like people are making money off of just talking about other people, and it's always in a negative way. So I just stopped kind of watching those things. And you know what is another guilty pleasure of mine is crime shows. I love me some Bailey Sarian. I love me some Kendall Rae. Ooh, I love it. I love me a good murder mystery. I love horror. But you know what? If I keep consuming and consuming and consuming those things, and I don't like kind of, what I say is like wash it down with something good and like lighthearted or comedy or something like makes me feel good, then I shouldn't be watching that thing. But that's just me. That's kind of how I look at it. But I feel like this is a time where you guys are going to understand what things you're consuming and what it is that's transforming in your life. And you're like, I feel like a lot of you are going to be detaching from something. You're going to leave something. Whether it's like, it might even be as silly as something as like watching and consuming the news or negative content, or just listening to negative music or negative people. I feel like you're walking away from something that was feeding your head negativity, straight up negativity. That's where your transformation is like really, really kicking in around this Mercury retrograde. This is a lot of water energy here that I see in your reading, which is telling me there's a lot of emotional things that the Mercury retrograde is going to be kind of cleansing. And you're going to be walking away from a lot of emotional things. You are going to be walking away from a lot of emotional things. Do you see her right here? She's literally walking away with her cups full in her hand. But we'll get into that card too. The Six of Cups, let me just talk about that for a second. You are walking away, but you still are holding on, you're clinging on. And Mercury retrograde is here to just sever that tie, just sever it. Which, you know what, as soon as I said that, I'm going to pull a really quick card from my Kali deck. As soon as I heard that, I was like, I need to pull from her. Okay. Vishvamata. Okay, so I feel like there is this energy about maybe there's a transformation that has to do with your mom or an elderly woman, like a female figure in your life. But I do want you to know, whatever happens, this might be the tie that you sever, is this elderly female in your life. But I want you to know that one of the biggest reasons that you're clinging on and you're not allowing yourself to completely sever this tie, or maybe just make it a little bit more distant, is because you feel like you won't get that kind of a bond anywhere else. You're looking more so at the good things, and you're not focusing on how the bad things really made you feel. And I feel like for a lot of you, it's continuing. Like, you know, the bad feeling is continuing from this elderly female. So what I want you to know is that it's okay to sever this tie if you need to, and it's okay to let this go if you need to. You can still be cordial and civil, say hi, bye, and stuff like that, but I feel like don't get too much into detail with this elderly female figure, and just know that I feel like Kali Vishvamata is going to be blessing you with another like a motherly figure. You're going to be running into this motherly figure that is just going to be very resonating, connecting, and genuine, and you guys are really, really going to connect. And there's this transformation in your whole entire energy when you meet this person. I also want to say, this protection card right here, this is my house. Hold on. I am not reading that right. This is my house, stained by the very blood flowing through its walls, covered in a veil of delicious prayers, yet deadly to those who dare lift its hidden. So I do feel like you might be dealing with some kind of secrets from your family members. There's like secrets in your house that you know of. You know of these, okay? And you kind of have not really... Did you see that fly? You haven't... I thought I got rid of it. It came in the first reading, but signs of flies, especially right now when we're reading, we're kind of opening the veil and opening the channel. And so I don't feel like anything is a coincidence. Everything is synchronicity. So when a fly just flies by your reading, I do feel like there is this evil eye, or somebody is just maybe thinking negatively about you, or you may have accumulated negative energy. You know, we can't really find out and dive in until like we go into a personal reading, but this is a collective reading. So I do feel like protect yourself, burn some sage. Okay, this whole Mercury retrograde, burn some sage, incense, Palo Santo, take baths and showers often, cleanse your energy, spiritual rinses, you know, those things help a lot. I truly, truly believe in it. And so I do feel like there is also this energy of an ancestor, like a female, older, elder ancestor that is really walking right beside you, right with you, and she considers you as her baby. And this is a woman that was very fierce and would speak her truth. She would open her mouth and speak her truth, and it might have gotten her in trouble a little bit, but this is a woman that always spoke her truth. Also, this is a woman that would give her last piece of food to whoever that needed it. So this is an elder that may have passed on. Actually, no, it is an elder that has passed on. And her feminine energy is just, I'm going to take care of my baby, and I will give her the last piece of food that I have. So that person is walking right beside you during this whole transformation. She popped up, look, right on top of the transformation card. Both of them, you guys, can you believe that? Okay, so I'm going to read these two right here really quickly before we move a little bit forward. This one says, like 1,000 storms held in hands soft against the winds, there is change arising from deep within. So this is, Amethyst is telling me, this is from within your mind. This is, everything is in your mind. But what we think happens. So if you keep thinking negative, you keep assuming something that's not even true, you keep thinking about something like what if, but you don't really want that situation, but you keep thinking about it, these things happen. Because we are very powerful in creating, okay? And our mind is very powerful, but it's just that our mind right now might be in this little sinkhole of negative energy, negative thoughts, and also evil eye. Did you see that fly just keep flying? Look, see? I'm gonna take care of him right after, hopefully. And the card right under that is, I journey within to meet my higher self and to find true happiness. You're looking for happiness. It's just, I feel like your mind, like you feel like you just don't know where that lies, or how to get it, or how to even proceed with the next step. My tummy is rumbling. And it's so funny that I said that this elder lady would give her last piece of bread. And then my stomach starts rumbling. That's interesting. So I do feel like this is a very powerful spirit that is following you, and really you are her baby, and she will protect you. And you know what? It could even be Kali. It could even be any female, like darker energy that you work with. Durga. It could be Hecate, Santa Muerte, which actually we're pulling from her deck today too, and Kali deck. So yeah, keep that in mind. And then some other things that I want to go into is, a lot of you might be stuck in memories and feelings of the past, nostalgic thoughts of home and your childhood and your family, you know, too nostalgic, maybe holding on clinging onto something of the past a little bit too much. And what you're doing is missing your future opportunities and you're missing your present opportunities. And so what's the Mercury retrograde is kind of teaching you is how to let go of your past. So the things that are transforming and transpiring and happening right now is that you're learning how to let go of the past, you know, the triggers of the past, the anxieties of the past, the memories, the traumas, the belief systems that you kind of cultivated with the past that you don't need anymore. So that's kind of what the transformation is happening around this Mercury retrograde for you. But I also want to let you know you guys are so protected by several energies, female elder energies specifically, and female darker deities. You guys are very, very protected. And then we also have like the Hanged Man is telling me a lot of you are really, really going to be pausing within this transformation. I want you guys to work with gold. I want you guys to work with blue. I want you guys to work with the color black. It could be blue crystals, black salt. You could work with amethyst crystals. I want you guys to work with water energy around this whole time. So drink more water, even if it just means drinking more water. Nourish your body. It's going through a transformation. And slow down. It's okay to slow down. Just know that you are very protected and supported. Yeah. And for a lot of you, I do want to mention right before I end this reading, you might smell perfume of your elder, the female elder that I'm talking about, or the deity. Maybe like, I know for Kali, she loves jasmine flowers, so you might smell jasmine flowers. Or for Santa Muerte, I know she loves tobacco, so you might smell tobacco if you work with her. Or if your ancestor, if your elderly loved cupcakes, like you might smell cupcakes. So just pay attention to the smells around this whole Mercury retrograde up until June 3rd. And I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye. Okay, pile number 3, everybody that picked the Desert Rose Crystal. So this is like Desert Rose Selenite. And I feel like the energy of this crystal is so soft and serene and beautiful. Like, oh, if I hold it in my hands, I could just feel it. It's so beautiful. They're not too expensive. They're beautiful. Just the energy is so calming and soothing. It's called, I think, a Desert Rose Selenite. So what I would do with this is you can keep this like near your bed, you know, for softer dreams. You can keep this underneath your mattress. You can use this in love spells. You can use this for calming energy. And also just to cleanse things, and just keep it around. Aesthetically, it's really, really cute. You could keep like a bunch of them in a bowl and put essential oils in them. It just really helps to calm things down. Which is the next part of your reading. So Mercury retrograde, I think the slowdown. So Mercury retrograde does slow certain things in our lives down. And in this case, I feel like what it's slowing down is anxiety, like just very like chaos. What is that? And also just calming down a lot of things in your love life specifically too. I want to get into that. There's a lot of messages that are coming through here where your fears are very, very strong in your head. They're way too strong in your head. You give in to your fears. You feed your fears. And your fears just consume you. And so there's always a conflict between your head and your heart because you kind of let your fears guide you and lead you. And they're irrational fears. They might have been fears you may have picked up during childhood or maybe a traumatic event. And so these are fears that are just, they're in your mind and they're not in your present reality. It's just that some things make you feel those fears again. And it's so real that you go right back into defense mode. And so what you need to do is look at your situation right now and see that you are safe, you're okay, and you don't need to build yourself up to defend and attack the way that you had to before. That was something that you learned. Did you hear me? I took the biggest gulp of my own. I just swallowed my own spit in like the biggest gulp of my life. And I did it again. I feel like that's kind of what you guys are doing. Nothing is coincidence in my readings. Everything's synchronistic. You're taking this big old gulp and you're just kind of leaving behind these fears that were in your head. And then we have the Empress, and the Empress is Venus energy. So love and luxury and beauty and charm and allure. A lot of you are going to find that during this Mercury retrograde, even though things may slow down, you are somehow going to be propelled into your own path, following your own unique path with your own courage and your own strength. And a lot of you are just going to have a lot of potential being fulfilled because you do that. And Mercury retrograde will push you into that. I see a lot of you that even though there's a lot of slowing down around this time up until June 3rd, you still are able to be extremely productive. And there's natural growth that is going to be happening of a lot of aspects of your life. And there's certain aspects Mercury retrograde will be teaching you. Like there's certain things like a mom, right? Like a mom that nurtures her child, but the mom who also mourns when the child leaves the house, gets married, moves on their own, goes to college, you know. So the mom has both roles, you know. And so I do feel like it is that kind of energy where you birthed something, but now it's time to let it go. But it's still like you're not losing it. It's just time to let go of one aspect of it. And it's okay to let things go because those are the rhythms and cycles of our growth and our death and our rebirth. This card also tells me that around Mercury retrograde, there is going to be like some fixing happening of relationships in your life, and the ones that are stable are the ones that you're going to be keeping. You're going to find satisfaction when you nurture something into fruition, but also you're going to find the pain of its loss. And here's what I believe about that. Like say you're growing an apple tree, right? And then you grow it and the satisfaction when it gives you the apples, but then when wintertime comes around and the leaves fall off, you're just like, this tree is bare. So I feel like that's what I'm getting. You know, you nurtured something into reality, and now it's just the phase of it for you to just, it needs a different phase, you know. Maybe it's the time for it to just be a little bare for now. But yes, still nurture it, you know, still nurture everything, still nurture it. Even if it's not giving fruit right now, still nurture it. That is your path. And I feel like maybe you were questioning about nurturing something that is not yet giving you fruit. But I think that the cards are saying for you to nurture that. And then we have these two cards right here, which is Altar and Potions and Spells. Very interesting how these two cards came together. So the Altar card says a sacred devotion, a worship skin deep rising. Did you see that fly? That fly has been, like, I feel like this entire reading, a lot of people that I'm tapping into right now have evil eye. Or, you know, maybe people are thinking negative thoughts about you. Or maybe you're in a situation where there is just negative energy right now around you. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly okay. We got our sign. We got our signal. Flies represent that. And especially on my reading table, there is like almost never flies here. I clean this all the time and stuff like that. So if it does show up, then it's a symbol and a sign for me. So I do want to say smudge yourself, sage yourself, burn incense, do a spiritual rinse, take baths and showers as much as you can. Cleanse your energy, because somebody might just be throwing some negative energy at you. And sometimes people don't even know they're doing it, right? So it's fine. Just cleanse your energy. But the Altar card, a sacred devotion, a worship skin deep, rising from the ash, the waters you keep. So what this is kind of telling me is on your altar, you should keep a little bit of water. Water absorbs negative energy. And the next day when you put the water on your altar, see if it has bubbles on it or inside of it, then bubbles represent spirits in your water. So you can do it. Did you see that fly? Oh my God. I am going to take care of that right after. That is bugging the heck out of me. Like, I do not like that. I don't like the sound. I don't like the feeling. And also some kind of ash. Maybe if you burn bay leaves, keep the ash overnight right alongside the water. So do that on your altar. And this card right here is talking about potions and spells. So a pinch of this, a dash of that. Be sure you are sure before you call. Very interesting. I feel like a lot of you right now during Mercury retrograde, it's the time where things happen and shift and change and transform. So this is a time you kind of want to dive into your spiritual work more to create the change you need, right? So I do feel like this is your call. Like, you are being called to do something, okay? But make sure you know everything that it needs in order for you to do it. If you're doing a spell, make sure you know everything you need, the significance of it, why you're doing it, and your intention and your emotional state better be good when you're doing it, because all our emotions are ingredients in our spell. And, you know, before you answer any kind of call, I feel like go to your altar. Also, you know, get guidance from your ancestors. Ask them to show you in your dreams. Ask them to show you symbols. Ask them to show you smell, scent. Like, ask them to show you. In my experience, they will always show you. So that is you following your own path. I feel like you've never been really kind of taught how to connect with ancestors and your spirit guides and stuff. So now you're finding your own path, which is why I see this Empress card right here. You're just really reaching your full potential. And that means spiritually, intellectually, intuition-wise, and every single one of your chakras, your womb space, you know, your masculine, whatever this may be. You're really tapping into it. And you are really coming away from the fears of your mind. A lot of this stuff that is going to be happening with the Mercury retrograde, I feel like you guys are going to dive into your spirituality so much more. You're going to start working with earthly tools. I feel like a lot of you are going to do things with your hands, whether that even be like doing dishes or making a candle spell or making a tincture or whatever, working with clay, gardening, cleaning, whatever it is, you're working with your hands, painting, and it's really going to open, listen, when we do things like that, it opens up neurological pathways in our brain. And we are able to resolve problems better and faster when we are more creative with our hands and just more creative in general. So I do want to say that maybe a lot of you guys lost your creativity and it made you go into irrational thoughts in your mind. But Mercury retrograde is kind of slowing you down, slowing the pace of your mind, adding more love energy into your mind with this, and cleansing energy. Love and cleansing is what I associate with this crystal. And that is what your path is. And I want you guys to keep the water on your altar. You could write journal entries on your altar. You can light 4 black candles on your altar with cloves inside of them to get rid of energy from all 4 directions of the world, like north, east, west, and south. So you could do something like that. And decorate your altar. Put some natural stuff on your altar. Natural herbs, earth herbs, water, things of the elements. Really just maybe to redecorate your altar around this Mercury retrograde. Add a little bit more potions and spells. Get creative. Get creative because it's going to open up some roads for you. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. And I will talk to you very soon. Bye. Okay, everybody that picked pile number 4 or the Shiva Lingam stone, this is one of my favorite stones of all time, especially when you need a little bit more strength and courage and you need to tap in to a little bit more of that masculine energy of yours. So interestingly enough, I do feel like there's 2 different readings here. Oh my god, my fingers, do you guys see? My fingers never look this red. Look how red they freaking look. They're boiling hot, and I don't know why, but they're like boiling hot with their reading. Look at both. Woo! Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys really quickly. Masculine energy kind of does that. They're very ambitious and driven and motivated, and they are the protectors and the providers, and they find the way, and they just make it happen, you know. So it's a lot of like go, go, go type of an energy, which is why I kind of feel like by your reading, I just got really, really heated. Everything in my body just became really, really hot. For a lot of you, I also want to say that if you guys are indulging in alcohol, I want you guys to know that it creates heat in your body. And so, you know, if there's a heated situation, you have alcohol in your body, it's going to become even more heated because the spiritual, if you look at alcohol spiritually, it is heat. So, you know, it adds heat in any situation. So I did want to throw that out there for you guys too. Let's get into your reading though. What is Mercury retrograde bringing? If you guys hear that fly, it has been around this entire reading, like every single pile. So I do feel like because this is a collective reading, everybody that's watching this somehow, in some form has negative energy around them. Whether it be somebody talking about you negatively, whether it be you bumped into the wrong person at the grocery store and maybe some of their negative energy came on you. Somebody's jealous of you. Somebody's envious of you. These things can really affect you, especially if they're directing their jealousy and that low vibration directly towards you. If they envision your face in their mind and they're like, I am so jealous of this person, why do they have that? Whether they mean to or not, you know, sometimes evil eye can come in many forms. So it's not a big problem, but maybe you have accumulated a lot of it. It's easy to get rid of. You sage yourself down, you smudge yourself, you wear black crystals, you take a spiritual bath. If you guys want more information, head over to Patreon. I have so many more ways to cleanse yourself. I have lemon cleansings on my channel. Many ways. Even just taking a shower, you guys. Even just taking a shower gets rid of like stupid energy. So yes, I wanted to throw that out there too. And there's a lot of you guys that are going to be dealing with a Virgo, or you might be a Virgo yourself. And Virgo energy is you want to be organized and detailed and neat. Okay, a lot of you guys are heading into your like maturity. You're maturing, you know, a lot of your childlike ways. You're kind of keeping what you need, you know, for an exciting life. But then you're also letting go of those things that probably sometimes get you in trouble, or maybe you've just outgrown certain things. You are coming into a phase of your life where you're going to always be seeing now where you're going, where before it might have been cloudy and you didn't know, and it was foggy and you were confused. But that time is ending because Mercury retrograde is doing that for you. The third eye chakra right here. So I see the wisdom of my higher self and apply the wisdom in my life. So when okay, there's so many messages coming through. So you're going to be there's going to be informational downloads. Okay. So from your ancestors, from your spirit guides, from the spirits you work with, whatever powers you work with, they're going to be working with your third eye. So you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it in your gut. And if you have diarrhea, okay, if you get diarrhea around the Mercury retrograde, I want you guys to know that I feel like, okay, it's evil eye coming out your system. Okay, so if you get it, just know that's why it happened. And I see that fly flying around, so I wanted to say that. So this is a time also for a lot of you guys to go just withdraw and shedding a lot of old skin. And a lot of you are going to be more concerned more than anything right now about your own progress. So a lot of the things that used to distract you, look at her, she is focused and her mind is connected to whatever it needs to be connected to. Okay. And so a lot of you guys, it's just, you're getting away from a very, very busy world. And the Hierophant, let's just get into the Hierophant right after this. But you're getting away from a busy world and you're entering a very quiet time of solitude. You're freeing your mind. You are clearing your mind. You're opening your mind. And there's a lot of patience and acceptance that you're going to, experience and engage with. And a lot of you are going to work a lot of things out quietly. This is so interesting. This is so funny. Ooh, okay. You know what? That's funny that there's a bird right there. I'm not going to get into this card yet, but there's a bird right there. And I read a specific quote this morning. As soon as I woke up, it was like 7:30 in the morning. And it was about how Parrots are so loud, but they cannot fly high. Eagles are silent, but they fly the highest. And so it clicked right now. Like, that was a message for you. I saw that for a specific reason. Of course, it's a message for me too. Sometimes you just stay silent, be patient, okay? Trust your guides, trust your spirits, trust your ancestors. Just stay silent. And there's another thing that it was a reading that I did for myself, but I do feel like I want to share the message for you, because I do feel like the message might go hand in hand with this reading. Is you know, sometimes we feel something and we don't know if what we're feeling is correct or true or right, and then we kind of go to somebody else to validate that feeling, or we go to them to get perspective, or we go to them to get clarity or insight. And sometimes we go to people who don't give us the best, like, it's not in their best interest. Like, our happiness and clarity and stuff like that is not in their best interest of mind. So I do feel like there is a person or some people, or what are you consuming, reading, listening to, whereas something is just not helping you. That's kind of what I feel right now too. And also to just work things out quietly. Sometimes, actually, another message that I had this morning, I did a reading for myself, and I want to share that with you too, because I feel like it goes hand in hand with your reading, is to work, just sometimes some arguments do not need you to directly fight the argument right now, right here. Take a moment, observe, think, and then react accordingly and get your argument straight, get your facts straight. I'm a Libra, so I'm not a very good fighter. Like, you know, in the midst of conflict, I don't do good. Not at all. And so for me, it's just been very helpful for me now that I know that my downfall is that I don't fight. I mean, I can fight. I can fight. I don't know how to articulate my point of view ever in a fight or an argument. I do not know for the life of me. I can never articulate like what I truly need to communicate. I just truly go into defense mode. And also because I have so much Scorpio in my chart, and so I just attack. I'm very attacky. I'm very defensive. And so those are things we need to work through when we know we're like that. Even if you don't believe in astrology, you need to know what your personality is like. You know, you don't need to believe that you're like a Scorpio or a Libra where you need to balance everything out, but then also you need to attack. You just need to know yourself. And I feel like that's the journey that you're on. And it's going to take a little bit of solitude for a lot of you. And a lot of you are going to come out of it so ambitious. And that's what the Mercury retrograde is actually teaching you. It's going to put you through a period of solitude. But you know what? It's going to be fun. Trust me. Trust me, it's going to be fun. And the Hierophant. I want to get into the Hierophant card because this is talking about you mingling and intertwining your mind, body, and spirit together. As above, so below. What you think, you create. So sometimes you really do need to go into isolation, get into your mind, and see, like, what are your thoughts really creating in your life? Our thoughts literally are magnets. They will create. They will create our life. Okay? If it's a negative thought that you keep feeding and feeding and feeding, if it's a stupid assumption that you have because of a negative trauma that you faced in your life before, you have to let it go, because the more and more you keep assuming something that might not even be true, it will come into fruition. So you are powerful. You are powerful beings, and your thoughts create your world. So Mercury retrograde is kind of slowing that thought process of yours down so that you can create your world a little bit better. Because I feel like you've kind of been in a slump where you're thinking and focusing a lot on your negative and the lack and what you don't have and what you wish you had and stuff like that. This is the spiritual side of the masculine energy, which is so funny because we have the masculine crystal right there. The Hierophant is the spiritual side of the masculine, which is what Shiva is. And this is a Shiva lingam. If you guys are familiar with Shiva, he is almost always sitting in meditation. And this is so interesting. The spiritual side of the masculine. He is the spiritual side of the masculine. He is so fiery that he has to contain that fire so that he doesn't ruin the entire existence of everything. That's kind of how I could describe him from what I've learned. Did you guys see the fly? Which is what this is telling me. That stupid fly is telling me that a lot of you guys might be struggling with the spiritual side of your masculine. So sometimes we become so toxically masculine, where we want to provide and protect and be ambitious and make our money, and we're driven and nothing else matters, and you shove your emotions down the not the drug. Sometimes it is drugs. Sometimes drugs. You shove your emotions down drugs and alcohol and down the rug, you put it aside and you just want to get what needs to be done. You want to get it done. And so many times you neglect what you need to kind of heal and process and stuff like that. So this is interesting because a Hierophant is that spiritual side of the masculine, and the masculine is so driven, so fiery, so ambitious. But sometimes it needs that spiritual side to test out your own faith and find your personal truth and see what spiritually matters to you. This is a time of study for a lot of you during the Mercury retrograde up until June 3rd. A lot of you are going to be studying something, whether it's in school, studying on your own, getting a book and learning about something. A lot of you are going to get into straight discipline. You are getting your shit together. You know, maybe you were being lazy before, or maybe you weren't being as productive before, you were unmotivated. Those things are changing with this Mercury retrograde up until June 3rd. Watch the changes. You're going to feel a fresh new energy. This is Taurus energy too, so you're going to feel a lot of earth energy. You're going to manifest a lot. You're going to be connecting with trees and stuff like that. And guidance is coming in. So this guidance is coming in from your nature spirits. On your toes, twirl and twirl until you're ready to take flight. They arrive in the winds beneath your wings and speak through swaying of the trees. So this card right here is telling me that a lot of you need to start paying attention to the small things in life. What makes you happy? The small things. For me, let me give you an example. When I wake up, I make my morning coffee. It is my most favorite time of the day because that morning coffee, that fresh brewed coffee is the best thing ever. I relax, I get my day started, I'll light incense or I'll whatever I need to do. Stuff like that. Or if I wake up and my cat is at my feet, sleeping, cuddling next to me. What are the smallest things that you really just maybe have been taking for granted? The Mercury retrograde might slow your life down a little bit so that you focus on these things. And the more you focus on these things, watch them grow. Because that is a study. You are studying your own life. Study your own life. Focus on the things that make you feel happy. And watch what happens. I think this is a Mercury retrograde lesson for you. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye.